Hi, everyone. My name is Andraus. Thank you for joining us for the latest Kumi Now online gathering as we discuss the economic impact of Israel's occupation and how some corporations are profiting from it while Palestinians are suffering. Unfortunately, we have had scheduling difficulty with our possible guests, and we don't have a guest this week. And in addition to that, my colleague Omar is attending the book launch by a very dear friend of Sabil, Reverend Donald Wagner, here in Jerusalem. His book is named Glory to God in the Lord, which is a very interesting book about his personal and political religious journey from evangelical Christian faith and conservative politics to solidarity with the poor and advocacy for anti-war, anti-racism, and Palestinian rights. So we would like to take this opportunity to have an open discussion, to hear your opinion about Kumi Now, to hear your opinion about where you think Kumi should go, your comments, and any questions you have about Kumi or Sabil, or Sabil's, even the Sabil's work here in Jerusalem and in Palestine. So, so to keep it organized and everything, so please, anyone who would like to say something, please do it, or keep your comment for under 3 minutes. And to do that, just please raise your hand virtually, of course, using the icon here, Zoom, and we will unmute you. So yeah, so another time, we would like very much. First of all, we would like to apologize for today because it was very difficult to get one, and we would like also very much to hear your voice. We don't want you from a listener from the other end. This time, this is your opportunity to talk about your experience, what you learned from Kumi Now, what and yeah, and to see where we are going with it. So Elizabeth, 1 second. Yes.
I have a question. I have a good friend from our Episcopal Church here in Portland, Oregon, who is touring around Jerusalem, around Israel, Palestine right now. I don't know what kind of a tour she's on. She's going to see all the holy sites, and she's very excited about her experience. But I don't know what to tell people like that who are pretty much ignorant of what's going on. How to tell them if they are having this opportunity in the land, to tell them to look for, they aren't aware. So what can you tell them to make sure that they see the things they need to see, the Palestinians? She's probably seeing nothing that's going on.
Well, this is a great question. Like we get these kind of questions all the time, what we tell our friends. The problem is that I don't think there's enough time to talk about it. Like there is a ton of things that we can do. And nevertheless, but I think in a very short way. First, let them visit Sabil. I think this is a very good start. Sabil, as you know, it works from the base with the people, and it's very connected to what is happening on the ground. So, and also from Christian, and in addition to that, we are Christians, so we have, I think, the best of everything. This is a great way, like for them to come and ask us, any kind of questions, because these kind of discussions can go for hours. But at the same time, it's very important not to stay with organized, I think, tours that they get, because with organized tours, they take them from one church to another without having any chance to meet the locals, the living stones. And this is a huge problem that we face. You know, imagine it or no, there are even groups that come for a one-day tour. They bring them, for example, to the Nativity Church. They make them visit and then take them back to some restaurant in Tel Aviv or whatever, without knowing that there are Christian Palestinians. And you know, it is ridiculous the itineraries of some tours. So, so it is very important for them to have a chance, a personal chance, to meet the locals, and the only way for them to do that, and the most basic thing that they can do is just that to walk around the city. This is the most basic thing that they can do. Just walk around the city, buy a falafel sandwich, ask them how are they, how they are doing, you know, buy shawarma or whatever. It's the most basic things a person can do. If they are still more interested to know, you know, let them contact us. I hope that it was helpful.
Thank you.
Yes. Oana.
Una. My name is Una.
Una. Sorry.
No problem. Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me to your meeting. Now, hi to all of you. I am French, as you can gather. I live in England, Oxford. And I'd like to ask you a very important question. What do you think? Two questions, but in one. First of all, Australia has decided to revert and not put the Jerusalem as capital of Tel Aviv. Number one. And what do you think of the three, for the first time, Catholic, Christian, and other Christianity has said, do not put Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, which is wonderful, by the way. And don't cut me off for that.
But what was your first question? Another time, I didn't get it.
No, I said, what Australia? Did you hear about Australia?
No,
They have said they are going to revert to Jerusalem will no longer be the capital of Israel, but will stay in Palestine. That was today's news.
Oh, I didn't hear it yet. Well, this is a great news. I think that in Australia, yes, seriously, yes, clapping. Thanks God, because after all these years of right-wing government in Australia, you know, they are now switching, which is very good news. But unfortunately, it's the opposite now in Britain, which is funny enough, you know, because.
Don't even talk about Britain. It's a total mess at the moment. We have a prime minister she's very proud to be a Zionist, which made us very, very wanted to vomit, actually. Therefore, but let's not talk about England, because things are changing every second. It's just what do you think of the Pope, Church of England, Catholic, and the other church, Hannah, Reverend Anna, they have put together and said, we don't want Jerusalem to go to Israel. I mean, you know, not to go physically, but what is it? For the first time, I've heard the people talking about it, the Pope or the Cardinal de, what's his name? You know.
Yeah, and you know, there are many changes. Seriously, there are many changes now is happening, and this is, I think, very due for the voices that are coming from Palestine, from other voices. You know, like for this reason, we stress a lot on the work like of Kumi, because it is informing many people of what is happening in the ground. It is not just an abstract idea anymore for many people. It is something that is tangible, that we talk about the hardships that the people go through in everyday basis in all aspects of life. And I think it is reaching more and more people, but it is making a big impact on the leadership, maybe in the local or national. So for this reason, it is very important that people would participate in Kumi, because we are, or you know, it is a very excellent opportunity to more about information or about what is happening. And first Megan and then Daryl. Okay.
Luvata from Germany has asked a sensible question because we would really like to find out about the profiteering of occupation. I'd be glad if we could concentrate on that topic. That's all I wanted to say. Over to you, Daryl.
Daryl, please unmute
Hello.
yourself.
Hi.
Yes.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, all of you. One of the founders of Sabeel, Samia Khoury, her grandson this morning in the early hours was beaten and arrested and taken to prison.
Oh, God.
You must know about this. She sent out a letter to various friends. He is 16-year-old. He's a student at the Quaker school in Ramallah. They broke open his gate. They had him bleeding all over the room and along the path on the way, dragging him barefoot and blindfolded, not allowing the parents to see where the blood was coming from, taken to the interrogation section of the police compound. And of course, the parents cannot be there, and they systematically terrorize children into submission. That's part of her letter. So what do? We all know Samia. She must be just terrified by what happened to her grandson, who lives in the same compound. And if you don't get this information, I hope Sabeel will put this out today. But this is a letter from Samia Khoury this morning. This happened early hours, which is what Israel does in the very early hours. Goes in and brutalizes, and bloodies and takes young people, among others, to their prisons. This is an offense that just leaves one wondering. And when my president is going to be greeting the very right-wing head of the Israeli leadership this week, I'm wondering, does he really know who these people are? Thank you.
Well, first of all, Daryl, thank you very much. Yes, I was informed about it half an hour ago, so I didn't get the letter, but it's good that you read it for us. Unfortunately, I was also called Samia to see if she can join us to talk about what happened to her grandson, but but you know, she's devastated, and she said it is very hard for her to join us and to talk what happened. So hopefully after she calms down and everything, we would have more information, and definitely maybe today or even tomorrow morning we will send an you know, like a letter or whatever, explaining what is happening, of what are the charges, and more details of his arrest, because so far from what she said, you know, like but he was arrested and we don't know many things or many information.
Yeah,
So
you know,
we will keep you posted.
sometimes she's on, usually she's on the Thursday Zoomcast of Naeem's Bible study.
Yes, yes.
So perhaps some of us can be watching that, and she could be on that as well. So we hope so. Certainly we'll mention it.
Yeah, hopefully by Thursday that she calmed down and she's in a better condition to talk.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, welcome. But thank you for mentioning it. For Megan, you know, for your question, as I said before, that we don't have a guest for this subject, unfortunately, because we had a difficulty in finding one that can join us today. So for this reason, we today we are taking this opportunity for everyone to speak about Kumi, how it has impacted them, if they are doing anything on the ground, learning from Kumi now. So it's very important for us as Sabeel to see how Kumi is affecting you as listeners every Tuesday. So we would like to hear you. You know, this is your time to talk about your experience with Kumi and with Sabeel. Jack. Jack,
Yes.
you can, yes.
Yes, I can talk. I would like to reply to Megan, which said that we should concentrate on how Israel profits from the occupation. Actually, Israel benefits enormously from the occupation. But before I say that, what ways Israel is benefiting, I would like just to say that recently it came out in the archives of Israel that during 1948, when Israel got all the land and so on, there was a policy approved by Ben-Gurion, the first prime minister, to poison the wells of Palestinians with the biological warfare, which meant to give them typhus. And this was all approved by the government of that time, by Israel. Anyway, to the subject of how Israel benefits from the occupation, many ways. If I say about Gaza, for example, the way they strangulate Gaza and don't let it prosper or live, which they, from time to time, they have to throw a few of those rockets that do nothing, and then use it, that those are all terrorists, and you cannot do anything with them. Therefore, the eliminating 2 million Gazan from uniting with the West Bank and having a bigger, much bigger voice. So they always eliminated this unification. They also use their new weapons every few years on Gaza, live people. And they sell the weapons around the world to 130 countries. And when they go with their brochures and so on, they say battle tested. In other words, they're testing new weapon on people, which we know, like the phosphorus bombs and many other developments. Also, in the West Bank, they benefiting from destruction of the Palestinian economy. Therefore, Israel supplies to the Palestinians in West Bank billions of dollars of everything, absolutely everything to do in life. And whatever Israel doesn't have, just in case they have to be imported to West Bank, they go through Israel. Everything has to go through Israel, and they double the prices on them. Palestinians in West Bank, they have to pay twice as much for the water as a settler. They have to pay twice as much for electricity for their compared to the Palestinian, compared to the settlers. They steal 80% of their water. Most of their natural resources are stolen and controlled by Israelis. Also, by having the occupation and brainwashing by propaganda and so on, the rest of the world, that those are all not proper human beings, those are all terrorists and so on, they get the sympathy of the world, and they get the support in money, in political, in military, and so on. I could go on and on. Israel benefits enormously from the occupation. Therefore, no Israeli government, any one of them, really meant to stop the occupation. Some of them, they talked the sweet talk, but never did anything to stop the occupation. And today, Israel has no intention of creating anything that resembles a Palestinian state.
Thank you, Jack.
By the way, I'm from Toronto talking to you.
Thank you, Jack. This is very important information and very informative. We are very appreciated. By the way, the letter of Samia Khouri is in the chat. There is a link to it where you can read it if you are interested. Mariana?
Hello?
Hi.
Am I unmuted? Okay.
Yes.
One of the things I appreciate about Kumi now is the opportunity to see everybody from different places. Being Canadian, I especially like to see all the Canadians that are on here. It's very encouraging to me to know that we're all working together towards the same end. And I see that Bill Chombre is on here, and he is just returned to Canada relatively recently from being an ecumenical accompanier. And I wondered if he might be willing to say a couple of minutes worth about his experience there, or his experience, how people are responding to him when he comes back to Canada.
All right. Thank you. Diana? Or Diane?
Yes. Thank you. I'm Diane Rowe from Corning, New York. I can't express how much I appreciate the Kumi Now and also the prayer services with Naeem. I am leaving on Monday to and will arrive in Jerusalem on Tuesday, and
Nice.
I'm pretty much coming on my own. I'm visiting people, but they're in the West Bank, and with all the fear of restrictions and things, I've been able to contact so many different people, partly because of the network that we've conducted here, and staying up to date and knowing what's going on and knowing who to contact. I just got out of our United Methodist conference, has had a task force on Palestine for almost 30 years. We just had a Zoom meeting, and they are so much part of the network, and it's just amazing how many times I will look on here and I'll see faces that I recognize. And when I'm trying to figure, okay, how do I find out about this or that or anything, tuning in to Kumi Now, and I want to visit the Sabile office when I'm there, and we're trying to do a project that will match churches in our area with churches and organizations, mostly families living in areas where they are marginalized and impacted. And I'm embarking on this, and the connection with Sabile has really been part of what makes me a little more confident about coming on this journey. So yes, I very much appreciate, and the programs are always very good, but that's only part of why I appreciate this so much.
Well, thank you very much, Diane. You know, we really appreciate what you said, and ahlan wa sahlan in our office anytime. You are more than welcome to have coffee, Arabic coffee, and also on Thursday to have a Palestinian lunch with us. We would love to have you there. Rosanne?
Salam. Hi, I'm Roseanne from South Africa, and I just really wanted to express my gratitude to everyone at Kumi Now and Sabile. Just these sessions have been really incredible for me personally. Just coming in, I wouldn't say from a a Zionistic background, but certainly I didn't have my eyes opened about what was happening in Palestine. And just being able to have these sessions every week with, they're extremely informative. If I just think about my knowledge now of Christian Zionism, of the Bedouins, of nonviolent resistance, of art as resistance, you know, so varied, and listening to the speakers, and getting to know them, befriending them on social media, following them and getting their inputs. So just deeply grateful. I feel almost mentored in a way by Kumi now, in my knowledge of and my understanding of Palestine and Palestinian matters, and in the undoing of my traditional sort of evangelical background knowledge on these matters. So just deeply grateful. Omar Harami is just incredible. He's a great host and so funny and warm, and just he has an incredible way with the guests and with us. And just one last thing I just wanted to thank you all for is, I think often for those of us coming in, we may ask questions or make comments that are not necessarily very insightful, but everyone on Kumi now is so gracious and patient with us as we're on this journey of learning, and just really grateful for that. So thank you so much. I try and attend every week because each week is incredible.
This is first of all, thank you for all your nice words. It really means a lot to us, and that it is a kind of, we know now that we are in the right track, we are in the right way, you know, because we want the people to know what is happening on the ground. You know, lack of information is the biggest enemy for us right now. And we hope with these small steps, small things, that we can help the people to know what is happening. Especially in addition to that, the media, you know, like, you know, the main media is so corrupted, so manipulative to an extent that no one can imagine. So from our part, we try to do our best, you know, to bring the information to the person, and you know, like we will keep doing it, and there's nothing else to do, you know. It's just we keep on to have hope that one day that justice will prevail, because there's no other way, either justice or no justice for us, you know, like it's there's no middle place. Also, if you would like also to check the new book of Reverend Donald, who is a very good friend of Sabil, who lived for years here he didn't live. He visited many times here in Palestine, and for his book, he talks about his, you know, like journey, because he was also evangelical, Zionist also, and slowly when he you know, learned more about Palestine, he changed it. He's now totally in the other end. So I encourage you very much to check his book. My friend Ryan also put a link to it, and we encourage you, because now, as I said before, now Omar is in the book launch in Jerusalem for Donald, and this is a very great opportunity for you or for everyone. So John.
Thank you, everyone, for the conversation we've had today. I, too, am very glad to be part of the Kumi community. We've had Jonathan Katab speak to us here in Western Michigan. I've been one of the founders of the Kairos West Michigan movement here in the Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Tri-Cities area. We have been trying for many years to build a consensus and a community in Western Michigan, which is deeply conservative, deeply captured and occupied by the Israeli lobby, to change the narrative, to be part of the grassroots movement that is going to bring our Congress and the White House to heal one of these years. I want to say that we have been collaborating with Mike Spath and his Indiana Center for Middle East Peace we are bringing Edwin Arison from South Africa. Thank you, Roseanne, for your previous comment. Edwin Arison was one of the co-authors of the Kairos South Africa document in the 80s to address our Dutch brothers in South Africa to change the apartheid movement there. So we are eager to welcome Edwin Arison next Thursday evening here in West Michigan to not only hear a bit of overview of how things went in South Africa, but because he's been in close touch with Kairos Palestine and with leaders there, we are hopeful that he is able to bring us up to date on what there might be a possibility for hope and change in our region. So I just wanted to bring that to bear. And also one last comment I want to make, and that is that I'm part of a group called the Hope Academy of Senior Professionals. And on December 13, we are going to address the issue that Daniel Sokach has written a book called Can We Talk About Israel? He is a liberal Zionist, and supposedly, I just got it today. I just purchased it today in preparation for the class on December 13. Liberal Zionism, of course, is very different from those who want to dismantle the Zionist dream of 1897. So I just wanted to report to this valuable community, to me, that we are part of the grassroots movement that is represented by Kumi now and FASNA, the Friends of Sabeel North America, friends with Don Wagner, so many people on the ground who are seeking to change the narrative and bring to light that which is clouded and diminished by the preponderance of the Israeli lobby here. Thank you very much, friends.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Christine?
Thank you, Andres. I'm devastated by the news about Samir's grandson. As someone who joins the service on Thursday afternoon, I feel as if I know her so well. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know how many grandsons she's got, but I'm sure on one Thursday she told us that her grandson had been attacked on his way to the hairdresser. So if it's the same little lad, this is not the first time something like this has happened to him. And if you can possibly convey to her that we are all sending positive, loving thoughts to the family, please do. In addition to that, I'm in Portsmouth, England, and I'm sorry that this is really only relevant for those of us in the UK. You may be aware that our new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, has spoken about moving our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Church leaders have written letters to the government. I have posted a link in the chat to the Kairos website where you can go and sign a War on Want petition against this. It would be, I believe, a dreadful move and would harm the peace process. There's a specimen letter that you can write to your MP if you're able to on the Balfour Project website, and Megan might want to say more about that.
Yeah, thank you very much. And if I'm not mistaken, there was also a girl related to her that was arrested a year ago. I don't know if someone can correct me. Was her granddaughter? She was arrested for a couple of months while she was from Berzeit. Either it was her granddaughter or related to her. I cannot remember right now information of the exact thing, but so this is not the first time in her family that happened. Judith.
Hey, some of you might have remembered when I think Kumi now had just gotten started or had been going on a few months, and then I joined, and there was a woman who would tell stories, And she told the story of the of the colors of the Palestinian flag. And it was, according to the story, it was a heroic woman who saved a city. And she was a very beautiful woman. And so they made the colors of the flag black for her beautiful hair, and green for her eyes. I believe she had green eyes. And then is it red for her beautiful lips? So I think that was, I'll always remember that story. She told some great stories, although it was hard to understand her sometimes, but you really got a taste of Palestinian culture with her. So if you see her, please say I appreciated all those stories.
We will definitely do that. And also, for the people who came late, hopefully by Thursday, she will be joining us in the Thursday service. And please feel free to join us then, to hear the updates of what happened to her grandson. And anyone for this end, please send us a message or an email if you are not registered to the Thursday services, Sabil Thursday services, so as you can join us. Lillian?
That
Yes,
was her
yes.
granddaughter that was arrested, and she was just protesting. And that was last year. I wonder if this boy was arrested for, suspicions of throwing a rock or something. Do you have any ideas what the excuse is?
I still, I have no idea. We don't know what are the details, what happened or what charges, because I think it just happened like an hour ago or 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So all the information that we know is from the letter that she sent. And I tried to speak with her today, but she was under a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to push her, to push her with more, questions. So hopefully by Thursday we will have more information. Lillian?
I admire Samia Khoury very much, and her letter is very powerful. It's very important to send it to all your contacts and also to politicians. And also if you can send it to Amnesty International. We need to publicize that letter and this is a personal story that is very effective, and we need to help that boy to get out of jail. Imagine him being your own son, and what would you do? Wouldn't you contact everyone? Wouldn't you contact every prayer group? Wouldn't you try to get him out of this mess? Anyhow, that's my point of view, and I put it on Linked, I put it different places, and I send it to as many emails as possible. We need to do it right away before they damage his brains, because they don't care where they hit. Anyhow, I'm very upset about it and wishing Samia and her family the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lillian. And all, as Lillian said, please send this letter to all your contact lists and to your, church friends or everyone that you can. It's very important to spread the word. David?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, yes.
Thank you. Sometimes I have trouble with the function of communication. I just want to underscore the very important part that Kumi is playing in helping to link people together. It is profound and it is so significant. I live in Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm on the advisory committee of the Friends of the Tented Nations of North America. And you've had Daud Nassar here on Kumi, and that helps to raise another group of Palestinian Christians that are in the struggle and have been in the struggle for over 30 years. And it's just so important to have the identity of people be able to be a part of this whole
movement to help to make clear the degree to which the occupation affects, so many groups. And I think it is really significant that we can have this time together. And I hope some really important things come out of it in terms of our participation and also expanding the participation and support of the need for justice and peace in the Middle East. I have a question as well. I was reading someplace that there's supposed to be a new regulation coming in on the 20th of October for people who are coming in as tourists, that they're going to have to identify where they're going and much more detail will be expected of them. Does anyone know about that in terms of that being a fact that's going to impact or maybe even impede the ability of people to come in to the West Bank?
Maybe I think you are referring where they request people who have like a relationship with somebody from the West Bank, because that law was suspended for the time being. I think it was like for people who has like a romantic relationship with people from the West Bank to give more information who they are meeting and why they are going there and all this kind of information. But this law was suspended, thanks God.
Okay.
As far as I know, the rest, like normal tourists, I don't think they require. They will ask anybody, for more information to your visit, because you could easily say that I'm going to I'm coming to the West Bank for pilgrims, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. I hope that's the case. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else? Well, okay, this is
Can I say something? I think Jewish Voice for Peace sent out an email yesterday, and I think that's the group. There is a bill being presented in the House of Representatives in the United States to counter what Israel wants to do in terms of having Americans travel there and have to say where they're going. That it will really impact the fact that we can't volunteer, that we maybe couldn't even never get to the West Bank in any way, shape, or form. And so I don't have that information right ahead of me, but check with Jewish Voice for Peace and ask about the House bill that they're looking for co-sponsors for, so that the United States will pass a law that says that is not going to happen. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. So anyway, it seems that we are even reaching, like a whole hour, and thank you very much for joining us today. I'm very sorry today for the guests that we couldn't, but at the same time, it was very important to hear voice and to hear what you think about it. Please feel free to write us about Kumi now. What is your impression? What you hope to hear from Kumi from the future meetings with Kumi? Your opinion and how we can also to develop to something better and bigger. This is it's very good that we are hearing you, and Sabil needs your voice. Sabil needs to know what you think also of Sabil's work, of Kumi and all its programs. So please free to write us anytime. Thank you very much another time, and hopefully we will see you all on Thursday to inform you more about the information of Shadi's. His name is Shadi, by the way, the grandson of Samia. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.